Ready to get into sewing? Let's start with the basics and start with our first task. We're going to really get to know a machine first by learning how to wind the bobbin like a pro. Whether you're new to sewing or you just need a refresher on your skills that you used to know before, I will be able to give you some essential tools and especially my favorite vocabulary words that will help you to be better as a sewer or crafter. Are you ready? Well, grab your machine and let's go! Hey everyone, welcome to Jenny Marie Studios. My name is Jennifer and this is where music and sewing are made simple and fun. Whether you're here to learn your first song on the flute or piano or ready to dive into sewing and create something amazing, you're in the right place. Now, let's get started with today's video, learning your first step in sewing on how to wind a bobbin like a pro. Before we start sewing, it's important to get familiar with your sewing machine and how it works. Think of it as your creative partner. It does the stitching, but you're in control. Just like any valuable tool, your sewing machine needs care and maintenance to keep it running smoothly. Treat it like a real machine, almost like a car. Follow the guidelines and manual with the proper care. Your machine can last you a lifetime. Growing up, my mom, she has a Juki machine, and this machine requires oil and tune-ups yearly. There was once even a time where we even had to find a mechanic for the machine because we had no idea how to even change the oil or how to make sure we keep it function. So I really appreciated those times when I got to see there was a time where the sewing machine was down and that's all we had into making clothes back in the day when I grew up. And so that was the only way we got new clothes was by making them back in the day. And my mom, thankfully, she was able to find that mechanic, and it makes me appreciate the value of making sure that you understand how important it is to take care of your machines, because even after 30 years, she still has that machine and she's still rocking and rolling with it, and it still does her justice because she's taking care of it. Now let's dive in. I'll show you the main parts, a few vocabulary words, explain what they do and how they work together. Are you guys ready? Grab your machine and let's get started. Let's start by taking a look at the sewing machine. No matter what brand or model you have, most machines have the same key parts. The first three vocabularies I want to focus on in this video are the spool pin, bobbin, and bobbin winder. The spool pin is where your thread spool sits. It holds the thread in place while you sew. It also is considered the top thread of your stitch. A bobbin is a small spool that holds the bottom thread. It works with the top thread to create stitches. Take a look at the bottom of a simple t-shirt. If you're looking at the front side of the fabric, that's considered the top of the fabric, and it's where the top thread, spool pin, will work. Now, if you flip the shirt over and look at the underside, that's where the bobbin thread comes into play. The bobbin thread works together with the top thread to form stitches, locking them in place and holding your fabric together. Let's see an example. For this demonstration, I'm going to use a red thread for the spool pin thread, top thread, and yellow thread for the bottom bobbin thread. As I sew, you'll see the red top thread appear on the front of the fabric while the yellow bobbin thread will show up on the other side. This is how the two threads work together to create the stitch. Our third vocabulary is bobbin winder. This helps you wind thread into your bobbin before you start sewing. Before the bobbin can do its job, it needs to be wound with thread. The bobbin doesn't become functional until it's placed in the bobbin winder, which is the part of the sewing machine that winds the thread into the bobbin. This is an essential step to make sure you have enough thread ready for your projects. If you take a look at your new sewing machine that you just pulled out, you'll notice it comes with blank bobbins, which are ready for you to be filled with the thread of your choice. Step 1, gather your materials. First, make sure you have everything you need: your sewing machine, a bobbin, and your thread. When using a new bobbin, make sure it's clean and free of any debris. Go ahead and plug in and turn on your machine so that it's ready for use. Step 2, place the spool on the spool pin. Next, place your thread spool on the spool pin, which is usually located on the top of your sewing machine. Make sure the thread is coming off the spool in the correct direction, which is typically when facing the machine from the back to the front. Step 3, guide the thread through the tension disc. Now, take the thread and carefully guide it through the thread guide and tension disc. This helps control the tension of the thread as it's wound into the bobbin. Step 4, thread the bobbin. Place your bobbin on the bobbin winder spindle. This is usually located on the side or top of your machine. Pull the thread through the small hole in the center of the bobbin and leave a little tail of thread sticking out. Step 5, engage the bobbin winder. Once the bobbin is securely in place, engage the bobbin winder by moving the winder into the winding position. On most machines, you'll need to just push the winder to the right, or it just might click into place. Step 6, start winding your bobbin. Press the foot pedal or use the machine's button to start winding the bobbin. Keep an eye on the bobbin to make sure the thread is winding evenly. If the bobbin begins to fill up too much, the bobbin winder will automatically stop, or in my case, in my machine, I have to stop it manually by using my foot pedal. Step 7, cut the thread and remove the bobbin. Once the bobbin is fully wound, release the foot pedal and turn off your machine. Step 8, check your bobbin. Before you start sewing, make sure the bobbin is wound evenly and the thread isn't too tight. Sometimes the bobbin can wind unevenly, so I like to use my hand to gently glide the thread as it's being wound to keep it even. And that's it, you just wound a bobbin. Easy, right? Now you're ready to start sewing and make your next project a reality. Well, that's a wrap. The best way to build your confidence on your sewing machine is practicing winding bobbins. I know that sounds like a simple task, but if you practice in different colors like green, red, blue, black, white, common colors that you'll use for your sewing projects, then you'll get more and more confident in your sewing machine. If you find this video to be helpful, please subscribe and hit the notification buttons so that you won't miss any future tutorials. With that being said, happy sewing!